Hello, my name is Ralf Friedrichs. I'm an addiction recovery coach and the host of the Take Your Life Back Today show. As an addiction recovery coach, I want to explain something very clearly to leave an everlasting impact upon you. Just imagine being buried alive. You're in a coffin, but you know you're not dead. You try to lift the coffin lid to open it, but the weight of the dirt is keeping the lid down. You think you're just going to die. Then you say, maybe if I bang on the lid, I'll unsettle the dirt, and maybe, just maybe, somebody on top might notice and start digging their way down to help me. This is what it's like to find yourself at the lowest point of alcohol and drug addiction. You know you need help, you know you can't do it on your own, but you don't know where to turn. In reality, there are probably people standing by your grave, but you don't know that. You just think today is the day you're going to die. Usually, though, people don't think about death when they're habitually abusing drugs and alcohol. In order to fight addiction, you have to be great at repressing the fear of death. I often ask you, my audience, did it ever cross your mind that maybe, just maybe, you might overdose and take something that was so preciously given to you by the Lord Jesus Christ away, your life, and more selfishly, you'll take it away from your friends and loved ones? With this, I want to leave one last thought with you. Don't be that person in the coffin, alive, looking for help when it's too late. Instead, be a person that reaches out for help. There is no shame in asking for help. All you need to do is extend your arm and ask anyone for help. People like me, addiction recovery coaches, life coaches. You can reach me at 844-405-HELP, and I will help you take your life back, my friend, before your life is gone. People like Larry Geis from the Geis Academy. You can reach him at 516-458-2741. Larry Geis is an addiction recovery coach, a life coach. He will help you from your addiction to your recovery. He will, as I will, always tell you, our clients, our audience, that it doesn't matter where you've been, doesn't matter where you came from. What matters is that you're here today asking for help. So let Larry or myself extend our arms, pull you in to help you. Larry Geis can be found on, if you Google him, at www.odysseyconsultant.org. Larry Geis, addiction recovery coach, life coach, over 30 years experience, waiting to help you. 516-458-2741. 516-458-2741. Larry Geis can be found at www.odysseyconsultant.org. Larry Geis, an addiction recovery coach. Folks, I want to remind each and every one watching, if you're head of the household, or you're a parent, or a legal guardian, by all means, lead by example. What does that mean? Whatever you do will be repeated by the young ones. If you smoke in front of them, if you drink in front of them, if you use profanity in front of them, they will copy you. They look at you as a role model, a hero. If you want to teach your children the best as possible, if you have to smoke and drink and use profanity, do it outside your home. They will act as monkey do, monkey see, monkey do. That's what they do. Instead, teach them love, respect, honor. That is what you need to teach your children, because what you put into your children, you get out of your children. That's a given fact. Lead by example, and let today be the first day of your new life. Today's topic is fighting alcoholism with medication. There is no magic pill or one-size-fits-all treatment that can banish an alcoholic's need for desire to drink. But a handful of FDA-approved medications, when used in combination with psychological and social interventions such as 12-step programs, can help significantly a number of alcohol-dependent patients reduce their instability, cravings, and cut back substantially on the number of heavy drinking days, say experts in alcohol and abuse dependence medical centers. And they quote, "I think medications are very important and effective and work best when they are used with psychological modalities," agrees Dr. Merrill Herman, Director of Psychiatric Services for Montefiore Medical Center Substance Abuse Treatment Program and the President of the New York State Society of Addiction Medicine in New York City. These are the medications. The first one for alcoholism is Antabuse. Antabuse was approved for treatment of alcoholism more than 50 years ago, making it the oldest such drug on the market. It works by interfering with the body's ability to absorb alcohol, specifically by inhibiting production of the enzyme that would otherwise allow the body to absorb alcohol breakdown product called acetaldehyde. With no enzyme to break it down, acetaldehyde builds up the body after even a small amount of alcohol is ingested, resulting in extremely unpleasant side effects that include flushing, nausea, and palpitations. The next drug is called naltrexone. Naltrexone helps to both reduce the pleasure that alcoholics receive from drinking and the cravings that compel them to seek out more alcohol. It does so by blocking receptors, docking sites in the brain for endorphins, proteins produced by the body that help to elevate the mood. The same receptors also accept narcotics such as morphine, heroin. The drug can be taken as a once daily pill or a recently approved once monthly injectable form. Naltrexone gets the core of what addiction is what the good doctor says. Next drug is Camprel. Camprel, taken by mouth 3 times daily, acts on chemical messenger system in the brain. It appears to reduce the symptoms that alcoholics may experience when they abstain from booze for long periods of time. These symptoms can include insomnia, anxiety, restlessness, and unpleasant changes in mood that could lead to relapse. In European clinical trials and in pooled data from several studies, Camprel increased the proportion of alcoholics who were able to refrain from drinking for several weeks or months. However, in combined trial and another U.S. study show that there is no apparent benefit to use Camprel either alone or in combination with naltrexone. Patients in the European trials tended to be more severely alcohol dependent than those in U.S. studies. And most patients in the European studies had been absent for a longer period before starting Camprel, 2 factors that could account for the difference in findings according to the NIAAA. We use medications to help detoxify people, but even after detoxification happens, the neurochemistry is still not in a very good balance, and probably even more importantly, when your brain thinks it's going to get alcohol, that elicits these compensatory neural changes so that the body goes through the equivalent of a little mild withdrawal, and Camprel blocks that, explains the doctor. Next one is Topamax. Topamax is approved by the FDA for treatment of seizures, but not for alcoholism. It has a mechanism of action similar to that of Camprel and may similarly help patients avoid to reduce the symptoms associated with long-term abstinence. In a study published in the Journal of American Medical Association, October 2007, researchers from the U.S. and Germany reported that Topamax was better than placebo at reducing the percentage of heavy drinking days over a 14-day period. Treating alcoholism, drugs alone aren't enough. All these medications work best in context of psychological treatment. Such giving somebody pills without that is not effective, says the doctor. According to Weiss, at least 3 forms of psychological therapy has been shown to be effective in treating alcoholism, with roughly similar success rates that include cognitive behavioral therapy, a form of psychotherapy focusing on identifying and modifying negative thoughts and thought patterns. This 12-step facilitation in which the patients are encouraged to enter a 12-step program, such as Alcohol Anonymous, and motivational enhancement therapy, a patient-centered approach in which counselors try to get patients to think about and express their motivations for change and to develop a personal plan that can help them make necessary changes. Folks, fighting alcoholism with medication is one way to do it. My doctor, in the beginning of my journey of living in sobriety, offered me Antabuse. I had declined to take it. With me, it was more of a personal decision because I am not one for medications. Only if I absolutely have to. Folks, when I had my accident in Alaska and I was on physical therapy for 3 years, I was offered painkiller after painkiller. Not one time did I take even one pill. For what reason? Because I was already addicted, although I didn't admit it at that time. I was already addicted to alcohol, and why supplement more chances or more possibilities of another addiction? So I declined to take, I think it was called morphine, or it was whatever, it was a painkiller. To this day, I still refuse to take any medications except for the ones that are mandatory by the doctor. High blood pressure, also for cholesterol. Those are the pills that I take. But anything can be addictive, mind you, but I tell you this, I will avoid at every cost to take anything that might get me even further addicted. So when the doctor offered me antabuse, I said no. And you might be asking, what is antabuse? Antabuse was approved treatment of alcoholism more than 50 years ago. And basically what it does is if you take it, it has a counter action against your inside. In other words, against whatever waves go to your brain. And it will cause flushing, nausea, possibly throwing up a lot, and palpitation. Then there's naltrexone, I should say. Helps on both reduce the pleasure that alcoholics receive from drinking and the cravings that compel them to seek out more alcohol. It does so by blocking receptors, which are called docking sites, in the brain for endorphins, proteins produced by the body that help to elevate the mood. The same receptors also accept narcotics such as morphine and heroin. The drug can be taken as a once daily pill or recently approved once monthly injectable form. Naltrexone sort of gets at the core of the addiction, is what the doctors say. You then have Camprel. Camprel is taken by the mouth 3 times a day, acts on chemical messenger system in the brain. It appears to reduce the symptoms that alcoholics may experience when they abstain from booze or over long periods. These symptoms can include insomnia, anxiety and restlessness, and unpleasant changes in the mood that could also lead to relapses. In European clinical trials and pooled data from several studies, Camprel increased the proportion of alcoholics who were able to refrain from drinking for several weeks or months. However, in the combined trial in another U.S. study, there was no apparent benefit to use Camprel, either alone or in combination with naltrexone. Patients in the European trials tended to be more severely alcoholic dependent than those in the U.S. studies. So it's not really that great from what we can see. Last one was Topamax. Topamax is approved by the FDA, one of the only ones for the treatment of seizures, but not for alcoholism. So the FDA says take Topamax if you're having a seizure. It's not FDA approved for alcoholism. It has a mechanism of action similar to that of Camprel and may similarly help patients avoid to reduce symptoms associated with long-term abstinence. In a study published by the Journal of American Medical Association in 2007, researchers from the U.S. and Germany reported that Topamax was better than placebo at reducing the percentage of heavy drinking over a 14-day period. Treating alcoholism, folks, drugs alone are not enough. Listen to me, drugs alone are not enough. All these medications work best in context of psychosocial treatment, such as just giving somebody pills without that is not an effective way to battle addiction. According to Dr. Weiss, at least 3 forms of psychosocial therapy have been shown to be effective in treating alcoholism with roughly similar success rates, which include the following: cognitive behavioral therapy, a form of psychotherapy focusing on identifying and modifying negative thoughts and thought pattern. Also 12-step facilitation, in which patients are encouraged to enter 12-step programs with Alcohol Anonymous. And motivational enhancement therapy, a patient-centered approach in which counselors try to get patients to think about and express their motivations for change and develop a personal plan that can help them make the necessary changes. Folks, don't be the person I read about in the beginning of my show. The person in the coffin, alive, banging, trying to lift that lid, banging on the lid, not being able to get out. Waited until it was too late to seek help. Instead, be a person that asks for help. You might have depression issues, low self-esteem issues, drug or alcohol addiction, pornography issues, gambling issues. Well, isn't it time to seek the help today before it's too late? Reach out to any life coach, any addiction recovery coach. There are thousands. Here in particular, I have myself, Ralf Friedrichs, from the Take Your Life Back Today show, from clearviews.info. I'm the host. I'm an addiction recovery coach, a life coach. You can reach me at 844-405-HELP, and I will help take your life back. You can reach out to Larry Geis at 516-458-2741, www.odysseyconsultant.org. We are all here to help you, but it takes you, that's right, you, to make that decision. I can't force you. I can't pull you in. I can be here. I can be the crutch for you to lean on. I can be your life preserver, but you need to shout out for help. Folks, give me a call, 844-405-HELP, and let me help you take your life back. I hope to God you have the best day of your life. I hope you have a sober rest of your life. And I hope and I pray that you all reach out for help if you need it, and reach out before it's too late. May God bless you.